this has just become a big news all of a sudden. We've heard about the rumors between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua when it comes to sparring. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury sparred a lot back in the days, and according to Tyson Fury himself, Anthony Joshua gave him a really difficult time in sparring. And then recently, Barry McGuigan comes on TalkSport, and then he says something that took everybody by surprise. So I'm going to flip my screen. We're going to look at what, he said about this sparring between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. And I want to get your opinion about this because he thinks this is one of the reasons why Anthony Joshua is very confident that he beats Tyson Fury. So let's have a listen to this and then we can react to it further.
And that's interesting, Simon. The statistics, if you look at this pure statistics, you have to say Fury is the favourite here. But I just think that combination of styles with the stories I heard from the High Performance Centre up in Sheffield from many years ago that Fury had dropped Tyson in the gym. That Joshua had dropped Tyson in the gym and hurt him and left a sort of psychological message. And now I don't know, I didn't see this, it's just the rumours that you hear. And I also think that Fury is less dangerous than someone like Dubois. And that allows Joshua to get into his rhythm, to get into his, he's got a good basic boxing skills, he's physically strong, and he's got a pulverising right hand and left hook. So I still make him the favourite, even though the statistics might not agree with that. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I feel about it.
Look, this is what Barry McGuigan is saying, that he heard rumours that Anthony Joshua knocked Tyson Fury down in sparring. Now, this is Barry McGuigan. This is not someone just coming out of nowhere saying this. This is someone that is very close in boxing. And when he says it, you probably believe it because he's very close to what's going on in boxing. First of all, Enzo, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I hear what Barry McGuigan's saying, but Barry McGuigan, he's a top coach, man. He's a top coach. He's been in the game a very long time. But he knows, he knows as a coach, as someone that's seen boxing, and I see close up in sparring. Mate, we can't really take what happens in sparring and then predict a fight based on it. Because if that was the case, Martin Barcoli would be undisputed champion in the heavyweight division, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? Martin Barcoli has sparred everyone and he's knocked everyone out. You know what I mean? So listen, man, there's a different mentality psychologically when fighters go into the ring in sparring. First of all, you're going in there to learn. You're not really going at 100%. A lot of fighters are between 40 to 60%. Yeah, so I'm not really making my prediction on the fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua based on what happened in sparring. Listen, from a fighter's point of view, psychologically, yes, it gives you that edge. It makes you think, yeah, you know what, I got him in sparring. That means I can also kind of get him in the real fight, in the ring. For confidence-wise, that is good for Anthony Joshua to know that he's got one on Tyson Fury in sparring. But trust me, the Tyson Fury that's going to get in a ring for the real fight against Anthony Joshua will be far superior, far more alert, far more determined and motivated than the Tyson Fury that was sparring Anthony Joshua years ago. Look, so it won't be the same.
I understand what you're saying, and I understand what Barry McGuigan is saying, because for what I have heard and what we've talked about, and not just me and you on our separate channels, but many people have talked about on their channel, is that Tyson Fury has been delaying the Anthony Joshua fight for years and years and years, right? And I think, people have talked about it, as I said. Now, could this be the reason why Tyson Fury has been delaying the Anthony Joshua fight? If it is true that Anthony Joshua knocked Tyson Fury down in sparring, and by the way, Tyson Fury has come out and said himself that Anthony Joshua gave him a tough time in sparring back in the days. He said that on a radio show, I believe, against Steve Bunt back in the day. So you can check on YouTube and listen to that audio yourself, where Tyson Fury is saying that, look, there's this guy, Anthony Joshua, he gave me a lot of work. Before Anthony Joshua, I believe, turned pro and went on to do good things in his career. But if this is true, do you think that could be a reason why Tyson Fury has been delaying the Anthony Joshua fight for this long?
Nah, I don't think so. I think the delay for this fight is been purely financial. That's my opinion. You know what I mean? They're trying to think.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's financial because Anthony Joshua wants to be the A side, Tyson Fury wants to be the A side, right? I think that's the issues that they've had behind the scenes. Who's gonna take 60%? Who's gonna take 40%? It's always been financial. I don't think any of these guys fear each other. Who would you say punches harder in their prime between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua in their prime? Who punches harder?
I think that question depends on who.
No, just answer. Who punches harder?
I think Joshua
punches harder in their prime. Joshua punches harder than Wilder.
I think so.
Okay,
and the reason why I say that, the reason why I say that is because it depends on who Deontay Wilder has knocked out. The guys that Deontay Wilder has knocked out are not guys at the top level. Punching power is great. It looks like Deontay Wilder has punching power, and he does. Deontay Wilder hits hard, but I think Joshua has a bit more thudding punch. Deontay Wilder is like a thunder. It's like a swift punch, right? That is very sort of profound. Anthony Joshua is a thudding punch. When you get hit, you stay hit. So I think Joshua has got more power, but Deontay Wilder is more fast with the punches when it comes in. And as I said, it depends on who they've knocked out. As you can see, Anthony Joshua stopped, Vladimir Klitschko and some guys that have really good chin. Deontay Wilder has knocked some guys out that nobody really knows about. So I think that's how I would determine who hits harder.
Don't forget, Deontay Wilder knocked out. He knocked out. What's Ortiz? Is it Luis Ortiz now? The Cuban guy. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Luis Ortiz. That was a beautiful knockout.
Is it? Yeah. See, he's an elite Cuban. Do you know what I mean?
He's all right. He's all right. I don't think he's elite though. I don't think he's elite. I think he's all right.
Well, he was offered to Joshua. He was offered to Joshua a number of times. Joshua didn't take that fight.
I think Ortiz was a good fighter, very good fighter, but I don't think he was elite.
Southpaw as well.
Yeah, he's a tricky fighter.
Yeah. What I would say, for me personally, Deontay Wilder has in the pump. Deontay Wilder was the hardest puncher in terms of pure raw power.
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder had a pure raw power. The only difference is in the delivery, how both fighters set up the back end. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder can knock you out from any angle. He could be going backwards and knock you out. Yeah. You could be coming forward and he'll knock you out. But Joshua has to be on the front foot to knock you out. That's the difference. Deontay Wilder is sheer power, raw power, natural ability, athleticism, and the speed. And I think with Joshua, he's the setup. He's got better fundamentals. That's why he will look for the setups to get the knockout. But for me, the raw power was with Deontay Wilder. So just going back to my point I was trying to make, Tyson Fury for Deontay Wilder got knocked down multiple times and showed that he has great recovery, better recovery than Anthony Joshua. If one of those punches that landed on Fury landed on Joshua, Joshua ain't getting back up. From what we know of Joshua, he ain't got the same recovery as Joshua. So for me, like I said to you, Brad, I don't think Tyson Fury is ever been scared or afraid of Anthony Joshua. I just think it's about the money, man.
You think it's
just
always
been financial?
Yeah.
They're all greedy. They're all just greedy, and they just wanted more money. That's why the fight never materialized, which is a shame because we wanted to see these two guys go at each other when they was in their prime.
Yeah, I mean, look, we talk about the money, but I think when it comes to Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, Joshua was on Sky Sports right before. And then he left, and then he went to DAZN. And then Tyson Fury was with BT. But then when he goes to the US, he's with Bob Arum, right? With those guys over there. So I don't think it's just about the money always. I think it's about the fact that they had different promotions and situations going on where they just couldn't get the right...
So that's what I'm saying, is the financial...
Yeah. So
because the different promoters, what do different promoters want? They want their fighter to be the A side. So therefore, it's the financial, because don't forget the promoters take a cut from it as well. So it's they were trying to argue who's the A side, who's the B side. They couldn't come to the table and negotiate, iron everything out. That's what delayed. It's the boxing politics that got in the way of the fight. Trust me, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, none of them are scared of each other, man.
Yeah,
none of them are scared of each other. They're fighters, the warriors. They'll get in the ring and fight each other as long as the money's right. Now Turkey Al Sheikh is willing to put up the bread. So both guys are gonna get equal amount of the money plus pay-per-view points. So it's a win-win for both guys. Win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, win, lose, or draw, like both guys win. They make a lot of money. It's going to be that one is going to take a hit when it comes to bragging rights, on the street. Everyone's going to go, you lost to Tyson Fury or you lost to Anthony Joshua. But apart from that, the bank balance is going to be happy. They're going to be happy.
They're laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, but I think Joshua can take a lot from this sparring rumors. If it is true that Anthony Joshua knocked Tyson Fury down, Joshua would go into this fight with a lot of confidence, don't you think?
Listen, of course, when you go to sparring and especially if he's one of your biggest opponents here, if you knock them down in sparring or if you won a couple of rounds, psychologically, like as a fighter, it will give you some confidence and you'll feel good. But I'm just talking from my experience watching fighters in the ring sparring, like they don't go 100%. It's 40, 60% at best. Obviously, sometimes ego gets in the way and they might go at it. But trust me, man, it gets a bit crazy, but it's about learning, man. Trust me. And also, they're not really showing you, when fighters are sparring, they're not really showing you their true self because you could potentially be their opponent in future. So they're not going to show you all the little tricks and their sheer power. They're not going to show you during sparring, So it's going to be different to the actual real fight. But of course, Joshua can take some confidence in the fact that he knocked down Tyson Fury all those years ago.
Yeah, I think so. I think Joshua can take some confidence. I think, one thing that Barry McGuigan mentioned there that I think was really interesting, that he mentioned stylistically, Anthony Joshua's style is a nightmare for Tyson Fury. I don't want to break this fight down because I think you and I will sit down and when the fight gets made and it's close, we're going to break this fight down really, very detailed. But I think, the stylistic conversation that Barry McGuigan was making, I agree with him to some extent. And Barry McGuigan knows he's a champion. He's an ex-champion, right? So he knows his boxing and he's a very, very good trainer. So he knows exactly what he's talking about. But I think he's got some good points about a stylistic point of view, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, listen, stylistically, a lot of people have mentioned, in the past that Anthony Joshua will be a nightmare for Tyson Fury. And I can see where they're coming from, when you're talking about, in terms of size, in terms of the power, the hand speed, athleticism. I get where they're coming from, but a lot of people forget, and dismiss kind of the skills of Tyson Fury and how he can actually, how he can counteract those strengths of Joshua. Do you know what I mean? Like Fury's got feints, man. He's got the feints. He's got the reflexes. Yeah, they're diminished because he's getting older. Yeah. But I think with Fury, with the feints and his ring IQ, Bright, that's so important.
That's good, yeah.
Ring IQ. I think me and you can admit that Tyson Fury's ring IQ is above
Fury's a
Anthony
better
Joshua.
Boxer.
Let's keep it real.
Fury's a better boxer
overall
than Joshua. Fury can fight on a back
He's
foot.
got the
he can
skills.
fight on a front foot.
Yeah.
He's got incredible feints and he throws you off and he's, herky jerky. It just makes it really awkward.
Yeah,
Fury.
Right. If you asked me 10 years ago, if these two guys fought, who would win? I would say Tyson Fury, because I feel like the skill gap was about, like, do you know what I mean? There was a big gap in the skill gap. But now, because both guys are older, it's closer now because Tyson Fury has been in battles, taking damage, a lot of damage against Deontay Wilder, then got out boxed against Alexander Usyk and took damage as well. Nearly got knocked out in the first fight. Fury has diminished. Like, he's slower now. The reflexes are not quite what they used to be. We saw him against Mahmudov. Mahmudov is one of the most, oh my God, this guy, terrible, boxers. But he was still catching Fury with that right hand. He was still catching him. In some of the rounds. So imagine now you have Anthony Joshua who's still athletic, who's still powerful, who still carries some of that speed in the ring. Like, it's got to be a problem for Tyson Fury. So I think now both fighters are equal now because of the age, because Tyson Fury has diminished a little bit as he got older and the damage that he's taken over the years. I think Anthony Joshua has closed that gap. I think now it's a 50-50 fight, right?
Yeah. One thing that I would say about that is, I think one thing that could be an advantage for Anthony Joshua is the fact that Fury has not looked after his body very well. And we know the things that he's got involved outside of the ring and so forth. And I think, in the heavyweight division, it catches up with you, because in the heavyweight division, fighters can fight on for longer because they don't have to cut weight. So, the training is different to the lower weight division, so they can fight for longer. But if you haven't looked after your body, that is going to catch up with you when you get older. And I think Tyson Fury, for the things that he's done outside of the ring, I think those things might catch up with him in the Joshua fight. Compare that with Joshua, who has lived the life of a boxer. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But I'll just counteract that and say that do not underestimate Tyson Fury when he's motivated for a fight. We saw, he went away for 2 years. He was on all type of substances. He's ballooned. Yeah. And then he teamed up with Ben Davison before the Wilder fights. And we saw what he done to Wilder. So Tyson Fury, he's never been built like a Greek god, has he? Do you know what I mean? Aesthetically, he's not the easiest on the eye. He's never been that guy. He's always relied on his skills. He's got the engine. He's always relied on his boxing skills. So I wouldn't really look at that side of Tyson Fury like he doesn't look after his body, his lifestyle outside of the ring. Because when he gets in the ring, do you know what I mean? He's proven to us time and time again that he's an elite boxer. But I'll go back to what I said. Because Fury, his powers have diminished, the reflexes are gone, the speed is gone, the footwork is not as quick as it used to be. That gap has closed, has narrowed. It's a 50-50 fight now.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people would pick Fury to be the favorite going into this fight. But if you ask me, I think it's a 50-50 fight. But look, we're going to break this down further. We're going to look at both fighters' advantages and their disadvantages, their strengths and their weaknesses, and who we think is going to win this fight as the fight gets closer. So guys, get in the comment section and let us know what you think about, Barry McGuigan saying that Anthony Joshua knocked Tyson Fury down in sparring. Do you think this is going to have an effect on their fight coming later on this year? Or do you think it does not matter what happens in sparring? In the ring is what matters. Get in the comment section and let us know what you think about it.